So am I glad that I bought my house with NACA? Let's talk about it.
Where are we going?
To where the money grows.
I 1000% recommend it. Of course, it makes sense. If you're gonna buy a house, you might as well buy a house with NACA because you would save so much money up front. But I do want to clarify that this is not just like something that you sign up for and then boom, you get a house. It's like anything in life. You have to work it for it to work. It's like when you go to college. You don't just sign up for college, take a bunch of student loans, and then you get your degree. No, you still have to take the classes. You still have to do your exams. During your first intake session, your counselor will create a plan for you that you have to follow for a certain amount of time. Once you follow the plan, you do all the things, you get pre-qualified, and then you can find your house. If you don't follow the plan, if you don't do the things, then you won't be qualified. And if along the way you need help, that's what your counselors are there for, to answer the questions so you can ultimately do the things and get qualified. In September, it'll be 2 years since I moved into my house, right? So I went through the NACA process. Also, simultaneously, as I was going through the NACA process, I was also going through the process with my builder and their lender. I honestly wasn't sure if NACA would come through in time for when I needed to close. It was just so much money that I was saving. I didn't have to put a $30,000 down payment, and then also throughout the life of the loan, because again, I'm not paying PMI and I have a lower interest rate. Something else to keep in mind is that you might just not be ready to buy your house right now. There was another comment in my comment section where someone shared that they had been going through the NACA process on and off, but then when they finally locked in and said, okay, I'm ready to buy my house, they were able to buy their house. And this doesn't mean that NACA is for everybody. It's not. If you make too much money, NACA's really not for you, because making more money means that you should be able to afford the down payment. You should be able to afford a higher interest rate. The reason it worked out for me is because I am a single person income. I do not make as much money as two people that are high earners, for example. NACA is really home ownership for the people that thought it would never be possible for them. You know, like in my life plan, it was get married, then buy a house, then do all these things, right? I was able to do the things thanks to NACA despite only having one income. So am I glad that I bought my house with NACA? Right now, I do pay more for my mortgage than I did when I was renting, but it's honestly not that much more. And at the end of the day, I own my house, and a new house at that. This is a new house that I was able to design with the builders, made specifically the way that I wanted it. Is that worth the extra money? I would say so. It's something that I own. It's something that I'm building equity on, something that I can sell later. And that's something that I would never have been able to do if I was still renting. Some of the benefits of NACA include a lower interest rate. Whenever I bought my house, the interest rates were 8%. So even with amazing credit, my interest rate would have been 8%. With NACA, I get an interest rate of 5.25, I believe, 5.15. Another benefit of NACA is you do not have to put a down payment. And on top of that, you also don't have to pay a PMI. And so what does this mean? What is this PMI? PMI is something that you are charged when you don't put down a down payment. For me personally, every month I save anywhere from $300 to $350, even though I did not put down a down payment. And then lastly, if you're someone who doesn't have good credit, NACA does not factor in your credit score. And if you've been in my comment section, NACA themselves has confirmed they do not factor in your credit score. What NACA does is they factor in your payment history. Do you have a history of paying your bills on time? Are you somebody that is financially responsible? If you are, you would get approved by NACA regardless of your credit score. And another big part of NACA qualification is something called a payment shock. It's something that NACA does specifically because, again, they don't factor in your credit score. I have a whole video right here that you can check out if you want more information. And so how do you do it? What's the first step? I get so many questions in my comment section. You guys are amazing. I try to answer as quickly and as thoroughly as I can. But honestly, the first step is to attend a homebuyer workshop. The quicker that you attend a homebuyer workshop, the sooner you know if NACA is something that's going to work for you, what your actual plan is going to look like for you specifically, because everybody's situation is different, and how long, generally speaking, it should take you to get pre-qualified. Once you start the process, really it's up to you how quickly you move through it. Same thing as college. And I'm sorry I keep using that analogy, but I feel like it's perfect for this example. When you're in college, if you're only taking one class per semester, it would take you like 40 years to finish. It's the same thing with NACA. They give you a plan and they say, hey, for these number of months, you have to do X, Y, and Z. So that means that if you are not doing what they're asking of you every month consistently, they're going to extend your plan and it's going to take you even longer to get the qualification. If you do the work, it'll work for you. Not everybody is in a point right now where they're ready to buy a house, and that's okay. Whenever you're ready, NACA will be there for you. I 1000% recommend it because the worst thing that'll happen is you meet with your counselor and you figure out that it's not worth for you. And then in that case, you would just go the traditional route like everyone else. But the best thing that could happen is NACA actually works out for you and you save a truckload of money. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish everyone who's embarking on their home ownership journey the best. I wish you guys the best. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.